Hi Nana. See, we were learning about a classification of optically active compounds. So, in that, we have seen the compounds which have chiral carbon atoms are one type of class of compounds, and the other type of compounds are other atoms with a quaternary chiral center. Okay, and here the third type of compounds are compounds with tervalent chiral atoms. What is the meaning of tervalent? Tervalent means valency 3, that means 3 bonds. Okay, chiral atom which is having 3 bonds, which can form 3 bonds. See, generally they show pyramidal bonding. Pyramidal bonding means it is having 3 different groups. That means the chiral atom have attached 3 different groups attached to it. Okay, attached to the chiral atom and with a lone pair, along with a lone pair. For example, take nitrogen atom. If you take nitrogen atom, suppose if it is having 3 different groups attached, for example, take 3 different groups X, Y, Z. So these 3 groups, they form the base of the pyramid. So these 3 atoms will form the base of the pyramid, and nitrogen atom will be above the plane. These 3 atoms will lie in the same plane, and nitrogen will be just above the plane, and on that nitrogen there is a lone pair. There is a lone pair of electron on that nitrogen. Okay, such type of bonding is said to be pyramidal bonding. So here this lone pair, the lone pair of electron, it is analogous to 4th group. So no doubt this group will be different from these 3 groups. So such type of bonding is said to be pyramidal bonding. Okay, so these compounds, tervalent chiral atoms, will show pyramidal bonding. Generally, in such compounds, chirality is rarely observed. Though there is chiral atom, but chirality is rarely observed. What is the reason? Why chirality? Though chiral atom is present, but optically inactive. Chirality means optically inactive. That molecule is optically inactive. Why? What is the reason? So in such compounds, chirality is rarely observed. Chirality means optically active actually. So if it is not having chirality, then optically inactive. So in such compounds, optical activity is rarely observed. See why? Why? Because due to pyramidal inversion. So in such compounds, pyramidal inversion is common thing. Due to the pyramidal inversion, what happens? They lost their chirality. What is the meaning of pyramidal inversion? Pyramidal inversion means a rapid conversion of a molecule into its enantiomer. One molecule will convert rapidly into its enantiomer with inverted configuration. So the enantiomer will have inverted configuration. Due to such type of pyramidal inversion, what happens? In general, these compounds are, they show rare chirality. They are rarely chiral. They are rarely optically active. Okay. See, that too, we can classify these compounds into 2 types. See, compounds which undergo rapid pyramidal inversion, which are optically inactive, and compounds which has a slow pyramidal inversion. That means they convert into pyramidal. They have pyramidal inversion. Very slowly they convert into pyramidal inversion. Such compounds, okay, or else no pyramidal inversion. Such compounds also are optically active. the compounds which has slow pyramidal inversion or the compounds with no pyramidal inversions are optically active. The compounds which undergo rapid pyramidal inversion, they are optically inactive. If you take example ammonia, in ammonia nearly 2 into 10 to the power of 11 inversions will take place every second. So due to such a rapid inversion, what happened? That molecule cannot show optical activity. So optically inactive. So it cannot be dissymmetric molecule. Okay. So here we are learning about the classification of optically active compounds. So these compounds cannot show optical activity, whereas the compounds which has slow pyramidal inversion or compounds with no pyramidal inversions are optically active. So what type of compounds? We are talking about the compounds with tervalent chiral atoms. Okay. For example, so we learn examples of this type. That means the compounds with the rapid pyramidal inversion, they are optically inactive, and the compounds with no pyramidal inversion or else with slow pyramidal inversion, they are optically active. For example, chiral nitrogen. Example, chiral nitrogen atom. Okay, so with pyramidal bonding, okay, the chiral nitrogen atom with pyramidal bonding, okay, in a 3-membered ring, and that ring, okay, that means here nitrogen atom should have pyramidal bonding, and it should be present in a 3-membered ring, and that too this nitrogen should be connected. Okay, this nitrogen should be connected to an atom. This nitrogen should be connected to an atom which contains to that atom. That atom should contain a lone pair of electrons. Lone pair. Okay. So such compounds in which the chiral nitrogen atom with pyramidal bonding in a 3-membered ring, and that nitrogen should be connected to a atom which contains a lone pair. Okay, so such compounds have a slow pyramidal inversion. Whenever pyramidal inversion is very slow, then what happens? So those molecules are dissymmetric molecules. That means they show chirality. That means they are optically active. Okay, therefore are dissymmetric. Dissymmetric means optically active. Therefore they are optically active. Optically active. OA, optically active. Okay. Hence, therefore, they are resolvable. Resolvable means they can be separated. We can isolate such optical isomers. Okay. Therefore, such compounds, they form enantiomers. Okay. What type of compounds? The compounds which are having chiral nitrogen atom, okay, tervalent chiral nitrogen atom, okay, tervalent chiral nitrogen atom with a pyramidal bonding in a 3-membered ring. For example, I'll take an example like this. So here it is a 3-membered ring in which one of the atom is nitrogen, and this nitrogen, it is attached to an atom like chlorine or else any atom, so which should possess a lone pair of electrons. Okay, here there are 3 lone pairs of electrons on the chlorine atom. Okay, and for example here there are some other groups. So this is not a chiral because here 2 methyl groups are present. So this is chiral because nitrogen, it is having, this group is different from this group. Okay, and here a lone pair of electrons are present on the nitrogen. So now it is having 4, actually 3 bonds, that means tervalent, but even lone pair also will act as another 4th bond. Okay, it acts as a 4th bond. So in such case, so such compounds in which the chiral tervalent chiral nitrogen atom, so it is having pyramidal bonding. Pyramidal bonding means, so if any atom is having 3 bonds and a lone pair of electrons on it, then such bonding is said to be pyramidal bonding. So, and here in this case, in this particular case, so in case of nitrogen atom, so it should have it should be in a 3-membered ring. So if that nitrogen is present in a 3-membered ring and that nitrogen is connected to an atom which is having at least a lone pair of electron, okay, so in such case what happens, so such compound will show slow pyramidal inversion. Whenever there is a slow pyramidal inversion, what happens, so those molecules are disymmetric molecules, so they are optically active, hence they are resoluble and forms enantiomers. So that means this will form an enantiomer. What is enantiomer? Enantiomer means non-superimposable mirror image. Non-superimposable mirror images are said to be enantiomer. So what is the enantiomer of this one? So this is one enantiomer, maybe it is D or L. So this is mirror and its mirror image will be like this. So here nitrogen, so towards extreme end, and this group should also present towards the extreme end. So that means here nitrogen and it is attached to chlorine. Okay, right, and this is also having a lone pair of electrons on it. Okay, so like this methyl groups. So what is, these two are mirror images to each other and these two are non-superimposable. That means if you lift this compound and keep on this one, so the groups they do not coincide. Okay, in such case such molecules are said to be optically active. Okay, got it. So compounds with tervalent chiral atoms, so if you take nitrogen, so in particularly in the tervalent chiral nitrogen atom, so the conditions to be the molecule with tervalent nitrogen atom to be optically active, so that molecule, in that molecule nitrogen should be in a 3-membered ring. First point is nitrogen should be in a 3-membered ring and that nitrogen should be attached to an atom which is having at least a lone pair of electrons. So in that case only that nitrogen will undergo very slow pyramidal inversion. Otherwise that nitrogen will undergo rapid pyramidal inversion. Whenever a compound undergo rapid pyramidal inversion, then that will be optically inactive. Okay, so in this case, so this particular nitrogen, okay, tervalent chiral nitrogen is optically active. So for the tervalent chiral nitrogen to be optically active, that means the compound which contains such type of nitrogen to be optically active, so in that case that nitrogen should be in a 3-membered ring and also that nitrogen should be connected to an atom, so which is having at least a lone pair of electron. Only in such case that nitrogen will undergo slow pyramidal inversion. So whenever a compound is having slow pyramidal inversion, then there is a chance of showing optical activity. So particularly we are talking about tervalent chiral atoms. Okay, right. Now suppose instead of nitrogen there are some other atoms like phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, so which are also belong to the same group. So generally by nature the compounds with chiral phosphorus or chiral arsenic or chiral antimony have though they have pyramidal bonding and will have naturally slow pyramidal inversion. So I am writing that point. So I am rubbing this one. So about so this is about nitrogen. So now we will discuss about the phosphorus. So tervalent chiral phosphorus, tervalent chiral arsenic, antimony, etc. Tervalent. So compounds with tervalent chiral phosphorus or tervalent chiral arsenic or tervalent chiral antimony. So such atoms, so compounds which are having such atoms, okay, also have pyramidal bonding and will undergo slow pyramidal inversion. So they undergo slow pyramidal inversion. So as they undergo slow pyramidal inversion, so therefore they are dissymmetric. That means those compounds, they are optically active. Hence they can be resolvable. Example, so this arsenic, it is attached to 3 different groups, okay, and it is having a lone pair. Hence it is said to be pyramidal bonding. So it will undergo slow pyramidal inversion. Even phosphorus, this compound, the phosphorus, here it is a tervalent chiral phosphorus, here a tervalent chiral arsenic. So these such compounds, so which are having pyramidal bonding, and these compounds will undergo slow pyramidal inversion. Hence they are optically active. Okay. Another example here, we have learnt about the nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and even sulfur salts also. Compounds of sulfur also. See, in our previous video we have learnt the quadrivalent chiral atoms. So in that sulfur, we learnt sulfur as a quadrivalent chiral atom. Now we learn about the sulfur, but here in as a tervalent chiral sulfur atom. So now we learn about the compounds which are having tervalent chiral sulfur atoms, okay, which show optical activity. Sulfur atoms, okay, the compounds which contain tervalent chiral sulfur atoms, okay, even such atom also, such compounds also will exhibit optical activity. So such atoms are what they exhibit, such atoms exhibit, or else such atoms show what? Pyramidal bonding. Such atoms show pyramidal bonding. Okay, and will undergo slow. They show pyramidal bonding and they undergo slow. That means they undergo slow pyramidal inversions and undergo inversions. Okay, therefore are dissymmetric. Therefore are dissymmetric. Therefore are dissymmetric and optically active. So examples, if you see sulfoxides, sulfoxides means here, so like this. So sulfur is bonded with oxygen, only one oxygen, and it is bonded to two different alkyl groups, and it is also having a lone pair of electrons on it. So such compounds are said to be sulfoxides, in which the sulfur is a tervalent chiral sulfur atom, and here this compound it has a slow pyramidal inversion, hence this compound is optically active. Such compounds are said to be optically active. So here we may keep any group, alkyl, any alkyl. Okay, here also different alkyl. These two should be different alkyls. Okay, sulfoxides, sulfenic acid esters. Sulfenic esters. Sulfenic esters means here. So one of the alkyl group, it is replaced by alkoxy group. So like this, it will be like this. Alkoxy. Okay, and oxygen is one more oxygen is attached to the sulfur by double bond. Okay, and this is some other alkyl group. So here it is having a lone pair. So even such compounds also are optically active. Even sulfonium salts. Sulfonium salts. Sulfonium salts means this sulfur, so it is attached to four different alkyl groups. Four different R2 and R3. Okay, like this. So these three are different groups. Onium means a positive charge. So that sulfur is having positive charge on it. So such salts are said to be sulfonium salts. Okay. So here it is a cation, and it is attached to any other anion like chloride or fluoride or else any other anion. Okay. So in such ions are optically active. Okay. Such salts are also optically active. Even sulfite means here so sulfur, it is attached to O and O, or, and here also O, some other group R dash. So these two groups should be different groups, and here the sulfur is having a lone pair. So such compounds are said to be sulfides. So all such compounds, sulfoxides, sulfenic esters, sulfonium salts, sulfides, so all these are having tervalent chiral sulfur atom, and they show pyramidal bonding, and they undergo slow pyramidal inversion. Hence all these are optically active. Okay, so like this, these are class of compounds which are having tervalent chiral atoms. So here we have discussed about nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic and sulfur atoms. So like this. So now another class of compounds, biphenyls. Even biphenyls are also optically active if they contain bulky groups on their ortho position. So we'll discuss about the biphenyls. So the biphenyls, which are sometimes biphenyls are also optically active. So under which condition those biphenyls are optically active? Biphenyls. See, biphenyls means actually, so this is one phenyl group ring. If one phenyl ring is attached to another phenyl ring, so then it is said to be such compounds are said to be biphenyls. So here, so this is the carbon, and this is ortho position, and even this is also ortho position. Here these four are ortho positions. So here when any hydrogens which are present on the ortho position, if they are replaced by bulky groups, what happens? See, biphenyls with bulky groups, biphenyls with bulky groups attached, with bulky groups on ortho position, on ortho position, when bulky groups are present on ortho position, so they face such compound, they face what? Large steric repulsions. Large steric repulsions. What is the meaning of steric? Steric means space. It is related to space. So that means the groups, they repel each other. Okay. For example, so here this is a biphenyl. For example, this is ortho position. On this ortho position, nitro group is present. So on this ortho position, let us assume some bulky group like COOH. Here also COOH, nitrogen, etc. Okay. So here these are all ortho positions which are occupied by, they are substituted by bulky groups. So when bulky groups are present, what happens? So this group will try to occupy more space, and even this group also will try to occupy more space. So here also these two groups will try to occupy more space. They will try to spread over a vast area. So as a result of this, what happens? Suppose these two are in the same plane like this. So when they are in the, so for example, they are in the same plane like this, what happens? Due to the repulsion between this, what happens? They undergo I mean here one of the ring will become perpendicular. So before that they should be in the same plane, but due to the repulsion between these two, what happens? So they will become perpendicular. In order to minimize the repulsions, so this molecule will undergo these two rings, they convert one of the ring will be arranged perpendicular to the other ring. Okay, that means two rings become perpendicular to each other. Okay, therefore, under which condition? When bulky groups are present on the ortho position, therefore two rings become perpendicular to each other. Okay, they become perpendicular to each other. So therefore what happens? So here it lowers the free rotation. So if they are arranged like this, so there are repulsion. So that is why what happened? So now they are arranged like this. These two groups are arranged like this. So perpendicular. So here what happens? Rotation is restricted. So this is a single bond, CEC, carbon. So between these two carbon, there is a this bond is a single bond. But generally single bond will have free rotation. But in this case, due to the presence of bulky groups, so the free rotation is not allowed. So it becomes a restricted rotation. Okay, it becomes a restricted rotation. Okay, hence therefore molecule becomes disymmetric. Okay, so what happened? Due to the restricted rotation, so the two groups becomes what? Perpendicular to each other. That means two rings, they are arranged perpendicular to each other, and there will be restricted rotation. So as a result of this one, what happens? So therefore it makes molecule, therefore that molecule molecule becomes dissymmetric molecule. Okay, so as it has become dissymmetric molecule, so then therefore it has become optically active molecule. Now it has become optically active molecule. Okay, so just because of the presence of bulky groups, so the biphenyl group, the biphenyl compounds will show optical activity. So this here, optical activity means it will form an enantiomer of it. So this compound will form an enantiomer of it. So I will draw the enantiomer also. Here it is NO2 group. COOH group. So these two are they are not in the same plane now. One will be in one plane, and this will be in the perpendicular plane. Okay, this ring will be in a perpendicular plane. Okay, COOH NO2 group. So what happens? It will form its mirror image. Now it has got what? So now this is mirror. So now it has become dissymmetric, because so these two rings are now they are they are not in the same plane. One of the ring is out of the plane. Okay, one of the ring it has become out of the plane. So as a result of this, what happens? So now this will have enantiomer of this will, as it is having optical activity, so it can show it can form its enantiomer also. Enantiomer means so reverse order. So here it will be COOH, optical non-superimposable mirror images. Non-superimposable mirror images. These should be non-superimposable mirror image. Then only they are optically active. Otherwise, they are not optically active. Okay. So just because of presence of bulky groups on their ortho position, so and they have large steric repulsion. So now these molecules, they are these biphenyl molecules, they are said to be having optical activity. So here these two are said to be heteropoisomers. 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 And the phenomenon is said to be heteropoisomerism. What is heteropoisomerism or else heteropoisomers? The heteropoisomers are the stereoisomers. Okay, these are the stereoisomers that can be separated. So these two can be separated. Generally, stereoisomers which have a single bond rotation, which is having restricted rotation around a single bond, they cannot be separated in general. But here, so these two can be separated now, because this is one enantiomer, this is another enantiomer. Okay, so they show different reactivity towards chiral atoms, chiral compounds. So the rate of reaction of these two enantiomers will be different with chiral molecules. In non-chiral molecules, in the reaction with non-chiral molecules, so both of them will react with the same speed. But in the reaction with chiral molecules, so this molecule, one of the molecule will react very fastly, and another molecule will react very slowly. Okay, so here hence such stereoisomers can be separated. So the stereoisomers that can be separated, that can be separated due to okay, the hindered rotation, due to restricted rotation. Restricted or else hindered, also we can call it as hindered rotation, due to restricted or hindered rotation about a single bond. About a single bond. So that means, so here between these two carbons there is a single bond, and here the rotation should be free rotation. But these groups, these bulky groups, they are not allowing the free rotation. So what happens? So hence restricted rotation is observed here. So about a single bond. Okay, and due to such a restricted rotation, so such isomers which are formed are said to be heteropoisomers. Okay, they are called as heteropoisomers. heteroisomers. Sorry, heteroisomers. Heteroisomers. Okay, right. Heteroisomers are like this. Suppose here, in case I'm removing this one. Suppose here, if it is a tertiary butyl group, butyl group, okay, attached to this one. So as it is a very bulky group, even the presence of hydrogen also on this position, what happens? So it makes, so if the bulky groups are tertiary butyl groups or even mesitylene groups, what is a mesetyl group? Mesetyl, not mesitylene. Mesetyl group means so like this, the benzene ring, if it is attached to 3 CH3 groups and one of the carbon it is lost, if it loses hydrogen, then this group is said to be mesetyl group. Okay, so mesetyl group, even this is also a bulky group. Okay, such groups, so tertiary butyl groups or mesetyl groups, when they are present on the ortho position, so even hydrogen atoms, in that case, even the hydrogen atom also can force one of the ring to become perpendicular. That means out of plane. So that means if the bulky group is either a tertiary butyl group or else mesetyl group, so what happens? So in the other position, if it is hydrogen, even hydrogen also will make in such case, hydrogen also will make one of the ring to become out of plane. So that means one of the ring will become perpendicular to the other ring. Even no need of possessing two bulky groups in that case. Even if one of the if one of the group is bulky group and even the other is hydrogen, in that case also one of the ring will turn into out of plane. So such bulky will be the tertiary butyl or mesetyl. So examples. So these are some of the examples of bulky groups. So or else we can write one point. If the bulky groups are tertiary butyl or mesetyl groups, then even the hydrogen atom also can force one ring out of plane. So one ring will become out of plane. So then also it becomes a disymmetric molecule. Okay, or optically active. Okay, so like this the biphenyls can be discussed. Okay. So we will discuss about the other type of optical active compounds in the next video.